We're back with the talk that you don't want to miss. Posted podcast is back in the mix. Voices of the Bears, we're leading the news. Season 4 live, we got stories and views. From the halls to the mic, we bringing up the heat. BNN is knocking with a brand new beat. Bears News Network, let the whole school know. Posted podcast is back, let's go, let's go!
Hi, and welcome back to the Posted Podcast. My name is Alessa, and I'm here today with my good friend Addison. Addison, how are you doing today?
I feel good. It's wonderful to be back again with a special guest, and we're here with one of our art teachers, Mr. Hernandez. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. Good to see you girls.
So, for those of you who don't know Mr. Hernandez, he's one of our 3 art teachers, and he got his education from UCHRGV with the Bachelor's of Art Education. Mm-hmm. So, for our first question, we're going to go and ask, what inspired you to go into the arts? And was there anything you learned at UCHRGV that kind of shaped your teaching philosophy?
Sure. So one of the things that really inspired me was when I was in high school myself. I believe I was a sophomore, the first time that I took art, and I had an amazing art teacher. And she was there to guide me all the way through. And I really feel that she was one of my biggest inspirations.
Oh, that's so sweet. Was there a certain piece she helped you with? Did she help you go with UIO, or was that a thing at the time?
Well, actually, the first time that I met her, I was coloring in a coloring book, and I remember that she got after me for that. She told me that wasn't as creative, and I was kind of really mad at her. I didn't like her at first. But then she kind of took me under her wing, and she started to guide me and show me different things that I could do instead of coloring on the coloring book. And I think that she saw that I had talent. And then I took it from there, and then we became really close after that.
Oh, that's so sweet. I feel like there are certain, once you grow and once you have your career, a mentor is needed,
yes.
No matter how young or old you are. So that's great.
So speaking of talent, we understand that you create your own personal, artwork daily. So how did maintaining your own artistic practice influence the way you teach and, help your students?
So one thing that I like to do is I like to keep my skills sharp. So that's one of the reasons why I like to do art every single day. And I try to get here to school early. I drink my coffee, and I make a art journal prompt, and I always make a sample. Every single day, it's a different one. And so far, I haven't missed a single day since the beginning of the school year. That's one way that I like to stay sharp with my art skills. And then I also like to get collaboration from my students. I ask them to help me come up with ideas for the prompts and things of that sort.
Wow. So I know you said your students do them.
Yes.
What's one of your favorite ones they give you, or what's an example?
An example. Well, that's kind of hard because every single day it's a different one. And so far it's been, I don't know, over 100 so far,
wow.
Right? I can't think of a specific one, but I do enjoy when I see their reaction. They see that I picked the one that because we have an idea bucket, and the kids put their ideas in a little paper. So whenever they see that I picked the one that they wrote in there, and I like to see how excited they get.
I used to walk in very excited and also a bit traumatized because my art skills are not that good. But if I recall my favorite one, I think it was a dinosaur Godzilla looking thing, and I stared at it and I was like, okay, how does one actually draw this? So how do you balance teaching technical art skills while also encouraging personal creativity?
Well, I always try to take into account that every student is different, right? And for some of them, it might come more natural than for others. So I always, whatever assignment I give them, I try to see are they honestly making an effort? Are they just wasting their time? And then there's always going to be students who it just comes very natural. So I try to concentrate on those students, try to guide them to help them grow. And also the ones that it doesn't come natural to them, I still want them to grow, right? I still want them to learn. So I do help them, but I had to be able to differentiate and try to come up with different challenges depending on what their level in art is.
And I know you kind of have your groups that you look at, and some you kind of have their own creative. Well, what's what's your kind of lesson plan for kids that really don't know art? And how do you structure teaching them?
So what I try to do, one of the things I feel going back to the art journal, I feel that the reason why I have that is because the art journal is like a place where they can experiment without judgment, without really having to be perfected, or you know what I mean. They can experiment. It doesn't matter whatever the outcome is, as long as they're trying. That's what matters to me. So that's why we have the art journal, because that allows them to be able to do that. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as they're trying.
In the art journal, do you write the prompts, or they're
Well, I give them a prompt every day, and they're supposed to draw something based on that prompt. But I always tell them, if you don't like it or you can't think of anything, you're always welcome to go to the idea bucket and choose a different idea. If
And
they want.
did you have the art class? You had the art class, right?
Yes, I had it first semester, and it was fun to be in. I learned a couple of things that I didn't even know I like had in myself. I wasn't a good artist, but I was something. So your students have participated in several community-centered projects, like the Christmas tree forest competition. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Why is community involvement important in an art program?
So that specific event that happens every year is at IMAS, the museum in McAllen, and they always have a different theme. This theme was science, so I chose to do space exploration, just because of everything that's been happening with space and going back to the moon and all those things. So I kind of thought it would be kind of fun to do that. And then my students, I asked them to collaborate to make pieces related to that. I gave them several options that they could choose from, like important space exploration days or important probes and things like that. So they got to choose what they wanted.
And then the way they decorated, was it they decorated from tree up? Did they provide you trees or
So they have the tree, and then we just take all the decorations. Everything has to be handmade, and of course, being in the art class, most of our ornaments were either paintings or paper mache props that we made.
Oh, wow. I know every year I see that we have our Christmas tree. Do you guys decorate that one?
Not that one, but we did collaborate it for the district Christmas tree. They asked us to participate, so some of my students actually made their own little ornaments out of paper mache. They asked us to do inspired by Who Bill by Dr. Seuss, so we made a few for that as well.
I remember I actually went and I was helping set up for that event, and it was so pretty. I love how the district always does fun themes, and I know our theater did Who Dr. Seuss theme this year. So I really liked it, and I loved our little centered around Dr. Seuss, because it's also great for literacy as well.
Yes.
And I love seeing the cross curriculum and crossing. It's so pretty. I just love art. I'm easily blown away because I can't draw. Because
everybody can draw, but it just takes time and dedication. So I do challenge you to go to my classroom whenever you get a chance, and maybe I do the art journal prompt for that day.
I'm excited. For me,
same for you.
I just write or I draw, but then I don't know how to explain it. I just give up. I'm you know what? That's the best it's gonna get. That's the best I have.
But it takes consistency. That's one of the main factors that will help you grow. Consistency.
Yeah, and I feel in any field you have,
Yeah.
Once you start, you're not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I feel I should take my own advice with that, but I know in any sports, for us, with reporting, I know we did not start off the best we want to, but that was the best we had at the time.
And you know what? It's funny you mentioned that. I remember when I was growing up, I was a little kid, and I used to watercolor paint, right? And I would paint on regular lined paper, and I would be so frustrated because I wanted my painting that I had done with watercolors on a regular school paper to look like a portrait that you would find in a museum. And I would be so mad. I was why doesn't it look like that? But it's because I didn't have the right tools, obviously, right? And I was a little kid, so. But yeah, I remember that.
I'm actually so intrigued by art history, and I love how art expresses the current times, and seeing museums like IMAS as well. I love seeing those. So I know you're talking about your students and how they do community involvement. Does art provide any extracurricular after school activities?
Well, we do have the art club. For the art club, we do try to meet as often as possible. The students are able to participate. For me, I like to challenge them. Recently, we did a challenge where we were doing a lesson on Frida Kahlo, and I asked the students to either reproduce one of her paintings, or they were also able to kind of put their own twist into it. And I was very proud of that project. The students did an amazing job, and I have some of the posters by my wall, so if you guys have a chance, make sure to go see those.
I do pass by them. My favorite ones I see are the little animals. Recently, I was seeing those, are so cute. And I saw the Frida Kahlo ones, those are so good. I always look by, and I love seeing all the different pieces and all the different works. I'm just so blown. I'm so easily blown away.
I get captivated when I walk in that hall. But speaking of challenges and stuff like that, 2 of your students advanced to the state level in the visual arts scholastic event. Can you elaborate on the process of getting to state, and what do you believe contributed most to their success?
All right. So these 2 particular students who were able to go all the way to state level, they were very dedicated. So I would say that's one of the biggest factors, their dedication. We started working on this project since the beginning, since school started on the very first day. The kids were developing their projects. They were working on them consistently. And it's just, I would say the main factor for them to get all the way to state was their dedication. We were very dedicated.
We're proud of them. We've had many like achievements this UIL season, and even in like our sports, our theater, our arts, and it's so great that even like everyone is getting a chance to go and compete against everyone against Texas. And our next topic is something a little different. We're going to bring up the fact of how AI has changed our lives in many ways. There's lots of controversies, lots of pros, but in anything there's always pros. So do you see AI do you see a way it would benefit like your curriculum or your students in the future?
I think AI, it's a very touchy subject for me as an artist, because obviously now you see it everywhere. Everybody's just popping graphics here and there. And to me, it's starting to the point that you can recognize that it's AI. And I don't know how I feel about that. I haven't completely made up my mind, because I think it's a great tool. And I can see how it can help us, it can benefit us, but also I feel like it's a very fine line, between taking shortcuts, or maybe like I can see how some people might abuse that. Instead of doing their work, they might just submit like AI.
And I feel the same way. I've seen something ironic I see is that AI can't they can't replicate hands, and I think that's such like an ironic thing that they can't like replicate us. And I always see people have more of a positive review to like more hand-drawn things than AI replication. But I feel like in many ways like there's always a pro, and maybe in the future like it can help a student. Like I'm lost, like like what do you think would benefit, like would this color be better or this color be better on my painting?
For ideas,
instead of completely like, can you do me a painting?
I feel like it's good for ideas, but on the other hand, when we do see those, I feel like the art piece that comes from an AI, it doesn't have a meaning behind it. If you put it next to someone like that actually does something, you see that meaning that the artist is trying to give. So, since we also have like 2 other art teachers, in what ways do you guys like collaborate with each other to strengthen the department and student like experiences?
Well, the 3 of us, we're very close. We meet almost every day, either in the morning, during lunch, and we talk about what we're doing. We all handle everything a little bit different. We have our own personalities, and we put that into the way we teach. We're all very different, but we work together very, very well at the same time.
Do you guys like gain like ideas from each other?
We do, definitely. We do get ideas from each other. I started with Art Journal, like I said, and then they started implementing it this year, and they said that their students are really enjoying it. So I am very proud and very happy that they took that idea from me. And I've also gotten a lot of ideas from both of them, just their style of teaching or like certain lessons. And then I take whatever I like and I adapt it to my own, and they do the same thing as well.
I think that's great. And did all 3 of you collaborate on our Bearcella
Yes.
in the center court? Okay, so just to give a brief background for those who don't know what the Bearcella is, during our teacher appreciation, the art department decorated center court to kind of recognize what Coachella is, and Coachella is a music festival, and they decorated really nice, and every day the administration and the teachers got a little token of appreciation. And it looked so great because I kind of felt like it was overnight. When I walked into school, I saw it and I was like, wow, like it looked like a unicorn just threw up in school. It looked so good. I hadn't seen the hallways that bright since homecoming or since like football season, and it was great to have something during second semester because a lot of students are trying to push through, and I felt that it was really great, and I feel the whole school appreciated it.
Thank you. And a lot of it, Miss Valdera, she was the one that organized it. She was the one that reached out to me to help out and give me some ideas. And then after that, from there, we kind of divide the tasks to kind of play to each other's strengths. I feel that one of my strengths is painting, and I'm really fast at it, so I really quickly started working on it since she told me. And it took me about maybe a week and a half more or less to complete it. It was, you guys remember the scale was pretty big. So I had to roll it up and work on sections because my room is not that big. I don't have a lot of space. And also another thing that was a challenge is that I could only work on during my conference periods because I don't have the space when my students are there. But we divide the tasks depending on each other's strengths, and that's how we were able to accomplish that.
Okay, that's great. And in your own classroom, beyond the awards and recognition, how do you measure achievement in your own class?
As far as like my students,
Yes, within your students.
as long as they're growing, and like I mentioned earlier, everybody's a little bit different, and all of them, their artistic skills are going to be different, right? For some of them, it might come more natural than for others. So as long as I see that they are making a genuine effort and that they are trying and they're growing a little bit, because if they actually really do try, they're going to grow. Even if it's just a little bit, they're going to grow on their artistic skills. So that's one way that I measure for that.
So speaking of growth, art has a different meaning to everyone. So to you personally, what does art mean to you, and how has it like helped you become the person that you are today and the teacher that you are?
Well, art is everything for me. If I'm to describe myself who I am, I feel I'm an artist first and foremost. Art is part of my everyday life. Everything I do, everything to me, it's related to art. So I'm always very happy to be here. I'm always happy to be here in the art classroom. I get here early. I enjoy being here and just making art every single day. I make art every day, and I feel very lucky to be able to do that.
That's great, and I love seeing teachers like have their passions and elaborate and teach the students something that they feel is personal to them. And I know you guys have had many projects throughout the year. What is your favorite project you've done so far?
I feel like every project that we're working at the moment, that's my favorite project. Like right now, we're just finishing the plushies, and I was very excited to see the final pieces and see the students were excited about them. And then after we finished that, I made 4 more plushies of my own just for fun. And I don't know, I guess right now that's my favorite project so far. But every moment, whatever I'm working on, that's my favorite project.
And then can you tell us a little bit more about the plushies?
So for this particular project, we started, I always try to bring a little bit of art history and get my students to write. So we learned a little bit about an artist, and then I asked my students to think back about the time when they were growing up and think about their favorite plushie. So then I had them draw it and describe it. That way they could also practice their writing. And then after that, I asked them to design something that they would like to create as a plushie. And I gave them some examples, I got some ideas, right? And then after that, I asked them to bring a t-shirt from home that they didn't mind recycling so that we could keep it sustainable. So from there, we designed it on a piece of paper first, then we transferred the design onto the fabric. We painted with acrylic, and then we sew it together, which they also learned sewing techniques. They learned 2 different stitchings, which is a great technique, great skill to have in everyday life.
And that reminds me of a project I did during sophomore year. We made moles for our chemistry, and I learned how to sew, and that really came in handy for this year, because this year, senior year, you have to use a lot of artistic skills. I made my own flag for decision day, and from there I was like, wait, I kind of remember how to sew. So beyond that, like, those are life skills that many students use, many students need, instead of going somewhere and paying. And I think that's so great. And also sustainability is a great thing, because recently, I know me, like, I have so many clothes, like, I need to get rid of and like to reuse them.
You can start making plushies right there.
And then we can even donate them. It's just a great life practice to teach.
Yes.
I love the process you used, how you told them to go back into like their childhood memories. Remember that one stuffed animal that you had, like the way, like the memories you created with it, and they're still taking them with them, like as they go.
Yeah.
But as you look ahead to your next year, what new opportunities or goals do you hope to introduce for your students in the art department?
Well, I'm still working on that myself. There's several projects that I do want to bring back, and then as I'm working on them, I see places where I can improve them, maybe change things up a little bit. But I do want to bring the plushie project back, as I thought that was successful. Just painting, of course, you can't go wrong with painting. I don't know, like, that's a hard question to answer at the moment, but I just genuinely do look forward to starting the next year, starting the base competition again. I already started to notice. I try to look around and see what artists, the students that I have, like their skill level and stuff. So whenever I see somebody that I feel have a lot of potential, I invite them to be part of the base competition for the next year.
Oh, that's great. And I'm excited to see how the plushie will like move. I think that's such a great project. It helps so many people. It has so many benefits to it, and I really hope next year that it gets bigger and it benefits more people. And moving on to our last question. So, what is the art of being a teacher here at PSJA Early College High?
What is the art of being a teacher? Like, personally?
Yeah, personally to you.
Okay. Well, for me, it's very rewarding. Like I already mentioned, I'm always happy to be here. I just enjoy that I get to do art every single day. But more than just that, I enjoy the interaction with my students, being able to help them grow, and see their growth, see them grow. That's what I like the most.
That's great, and it's a great answer, and it's we've had a great time having you on here.
Thank you for having me.
And hearing your story.
It's been such a wonderful thing, and I think I'm gonna stop by your classroom. Hopefully,
Thank you.
I need to go do an entry.
Yes, you have to
and
go
try
to the
my
journal.
best.
I'm gonna go make a plushie.
So we thank you for having you
Thank you
on
for
today, and we're gonna go look into the camera, and on 3 we'll do our ending and say "Go Bears." Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go Bears!
We're back with the talk that you don't wanna miss. Posted podcast is back in the mix. Voices of the Bears, we're leading the news. Season 4 live, we got stories and views. From the halls to the mic, we bringing up the heat. BNN is knocking with a brand new beat. Bears News Network, let the whole school know. Posted podcast is back, let's go, let's go!